The biggest mistake I think that most realtors, most agents make is like, you get into this business to make a lot of money. 100%. That's why I got into it, right? I was looking for freedom. I was looking to spend time with my family. I was looking to just do all the things and make all the money that you think you want to make, right? And some. Well, for myself, what I realized is for you to make that kind of money, there's a lot of things that have to go right in your mind. There's a lot of things that have to go right in your heart. So when you get into the business, or you get into business in general, you figure that, man, little by little, you just kind of start working on yourself, working on your mindset, and working on your heart set. As you make those shifts in your mind and your heart, little by little, you start to see results of success, monetary success, but it just doesn't come by you wanting it. What I like to think about is, then you do start making money. And this is the mistake that a lot of people make, is when you make money in your business, right? In my business, it's real estate. And it's for most realtors, but any business I would have got into probably would have been the same. And most businesses are extremely hard. But when you start making money, a lot of people, what I see them doing is upgrading their lifestyle, meaning the house gets bigger, the car gets nicer, the vacations get plentiful. But the biggest mistake there is like, you're making a lot of money now. You might not make this money again. Why not, before you start upgrading your lifestyle, secure your lifestyle through real estate, through investment properties, which is what we did. To do that takes a lot of time and effort and a lot of savings, right? It's very hard to make money and not spend it. For most people, it seems to me as though when you make a good income, instead of taking some of that income and now turning it into potentially investments, what they do is just upgrade their lifestyle. But if you buy investments and it's going to be a painful process, because in the beginning they don't make money. In the beginning, like we had a tenant eviction and this person didn't pay us for 15 months, $25,000. Like, I know the headaches that come with rental properties. It's not all peachy. However, 3 and 4 and 5 years later, or 30 and 40 years later, like I see a lot of these people who inherit properties, those properties are worth millions and millions. The family is extremely secure, and now you can sell them off or keep them and just cash flow. It seems as though that is the best way. You want to secure yourself against the older you, who's not going to want to work, who's not going to want to grind and wake up every day. When you're younger, you have this energy, but you're kind of foolish, meaning you don't know where to spend your time to make money. But as you work on yourself and you learn where to spend time and where to make money, well, then once you make the money, the biggest mistake you can make is spend it. I learned from other people who made a lot of money and then lost it all, and I thought to myself, like, wow, you cannot do that. Why did they lose it all? They didn't necessarily lose it. Like, they lived a very good life while they were making money. But then if the business slows down and they don't have any investment properties to counter against that can bring you cash flow, so then you just don't have to work as hard. It's gonna be very tough, right? That's where I think it gets very hard, because that's when you realize, like, man, I should have bought some real estate. If we're in the business of selling real estate and you see how this is making investors rich, when you make money, the best thing you could do is put a lot away. I mean, more than you have to. Put yourself on payroll, because that's how you get pre-approved. The banks love to see a consistent paycheck. And then go and start acquiring as many properties as you can and sit on them as long as you can, because over time, working at it, it's like a second job, right? It's not easy at all, okay? It takes time, it takes learning, it takes failing, right? We had that tenant that didn't pay us. We had the city that messed with us over a building and over, fluting chimneys that we didn't want to, that just like extra unnecessary expenses. Just stupid things come up, right? However, tenant issues. However, if you do this right, you can literally find yourself being able to retire comfortably. Not only retire comfortably, but be able to travel, be able to not have to work as hard. And I think if that's your goal, you just have to buckle up and get ready for the long road. If you're thinking about investing, if you're thinking about upgrading your business, let's talk. Let's figure out what it's going to take for you. You know, I think that right now at this point in my life, I'm still in the building phase, so you can't really buy my time. But if you want to come and learn and work with Arthur and I, you can. And if you have any real estate deals that you want to make money as a realtor and one of your clients wants to sell, maybe you should give us a call, because I literally did what I'm telling you in this video, saved my money, didn't upgrade my lifestyle, invested the money, and beginning to shift into being an absolute investor. So if you want to learn how to do that, or now that I'm an investor, if you have properties that somebody wants to sell, maybe give me a call, because I'll probably get the deal done. And you can too. But it is going to take time, energy, and dedication for you to be able to do that and to be able to live the life of an investor. Good luck.